All right, everyone, welcome to this early morning stream. I wanted to do this stream this morning because I really wanted to emphasize to a lot of you guys who've been asking me questions, and I got a lot of messages last night, at least 8 or 9 different messages about live streaming and the gear that I'm using. Now, we talk about it all the time. You know, one of the things that I tried to over the last few years really locked down is some of these small devices like the YOLO boxes or the Osbot Talent and other devices that I have been live streaming with for probably the last 2 or 3 years. But guys, I'm going to tell you, most of the time when I live stream, I'm actually live streaming using OBS. That has always been the application that I use. So originally, I was using OBS, the original OBS, and then I started using Streamlabs OBS. So I moved over to Streamlabs OBS because I was having some issues with the original OBS, and I couldn't have that during my stream. So I moved over to, the other OBS. And recently I started having a ton of problems over the last, I would say probably the last 6 months. I've been having a ton of problems with Streamlabs OBS. So I even signed up for their ultimate bundle, so that I could get more features, hoping that was going to correct some of those issues. But unfortunately, it did not. So I was looking around, for another platform, another, application that I would be able to utilize for live streaming. And I came across this software called Meld, okay? And I see Richard is over on YouTube right now. What's up, bro? Good to see you here. Yeah! All right, so what I really want to do for you guys today is I want to give you kind of a rundown on what Meld Studio actually is and how I am using it in my everyday live stream and also content creation, okay? So I'm going to switch to a scene here where you guys can see my actual desktop setup as far as on the monitor. So let's go over here to my desktop setup so you guys can kind of get an idea. Let's try it a little bit better here. All right, so you can kind of see what's going on here. This is Meld. I'm kind of moving the mouse around it. Right here are your layers. So this would be basically all of your resources. Down here are going to be all of your scenes. So those of you who are familiar with OBS and Streamlabs would know, a little bit about scenes. Your audio interface is here. Now you can add different audio interfaces here based on exactly what you need. I have my microphone and then I have my browser source music that I play in the background. So I was able to build out this entire live stream setup in probably about 20 minutes. And that's because I, in the beginning, I already knew what I wanted everything to look like. So it was relatively simple to set up. So hold on, let me make sure I'm not missing any of Richard's comments over here. All right, so so what you're looking at is the layout. So this is your canvas right here, this area here. This is where your videos are going to reside. One of the issues that I was concerned about when I first set this up was that I would not be able to use my Stream Ninja plugin to be able to start and stop comments, right? Well, I was able to do that, and I can show you guys here. I can just click on something here on the screen. Actually, let me show it to you from the desktop. So as you guys see here, I have my Stream Ninja right here, and I can just click on anything that someone comments, and then it'll show up. Now, if you're wondering how I did that, the Stream Ninja is a plugin for Chrome browser, and I have the the overlay as a Chrome browser, and then I have this over here as a widget. So if you go into Meld and you go into preferences, you guys should be able to see here. Let me make sure you guys can see what I'm showing you. Okay, so preferences, you're going to go down to user interface, and you're just going to add your dock right here, and then that's going to allow your dock to show up on your Meld right here. Now, most of you guys already know, if you've been using Meld, there's also a little icon over here off to the side for chat, and that will give you your normal YouTube chat or whatever platforms that are supported at the time. And usually I think that was YouTube and Twitch, okay? But for me, because I stream on Amazon and I stream on YouTube, multi-stream onto those platforms, this one here was probably a little bit more important to me to be able to have, because a lot of my chat, a lot of my followers that are chatting love to see their comments pop up on the screen, so I can just quickly click on something like this. I don't have to actually click on it. I have it set to auto, where it just automatically shows up whenever they're talking. Now, I'm not live on Amazon right now, but there are other people that are live. But I'm just going to go ahead and play my Amazon video from last night, so that you guys can kind of see as people are talking. You'll start to see the chat will just start to populate here, and it'll show up right here. And then it'll just automatically, switch through those different, chat messages. Okay. So right now is probably the beginning of the stream, where I would normally post a bunch of stuff into the stream before other people start commenting. So that's what you're kind of looking at right here. All right. So let's go through and look at a few of the scenes that I have set up and how I have all of these different things set up. So the first thing that you guys probably noticed was that I had a landing page. I have an intro page where it just kind of, pushes off to the side here with my banner. And then I have the chat and everything. All of these things are very, very easy to set up in Meld Studio, guys. So let's see. Let's go to something here that you guys can probably relate to. So here is my top-down view. And this I use all the time when I'm, demonstrating something, or I want to show you guys something. Hopefully not how messy my desk is at the moment, but it is always chaos in here. Richard can tell you guys, it is literally always chaos in here. But as you see, I can easily, transition between scenes. The ability to change the shape of your video sources is built into the program. You do not have to install any additional plugins for any of these things to work. The team over at Meld is constantly adding new features. So if I want to go to my phone view, let's just start here, go back to the desktop so I can show you guys here. I have two scenes for phones. So if I click on the first scene here, you get something that looks like this. If I click on the second scene, you'll get something that looks like this. Now, all of these things, like I said, guys, I set up in probably it took me about 17 minutes to do it. And I just noticed that my camera on this scene, the border is a little too thick. So I don't know if I can show you guys while I'm doing this how I'm going to fix this. But all right, so I'm going to just go here. It has a ton of little, oops, I just deleted it. Oh, that's okay. I'll just add it back. So we're going to go here to Glow Style, as you guys see there. And then I'm going to click right here. And then I'm going to reduce the size down to about there. And also the choke, I'm going to bring the choke down as well. So we have that nice little thin white border around, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so that's how I'm, building out these scenes, and then adding the outlines around the different video sources. Actually, let me set my camera to track me so I don't go off the scene as much. Okay. So anyway, so that's one of the scenes for, like I said, for the phone. And the reason why I use that is because, as you guys may know who watch me, I actually use one of my iPhones as an additional camera. And what that allows me to do is to basically just grab a camera, because my studio is chaotic and there's things all the way around me. I'm kind of like in a little cave here. And if I want to switch quickly over to another scene, I can just, do this, and I can move the camera pretty much wherever I want to show you guys any of the devices that I'm talking about throughout my stream, whatever the case it may be. So, having the ability to set this up as a separate scene and then still have the picture-in-picture, still have the good audio is, crucial to me, for my type of live stream. So, I think this is going to be an excellent software for anyone who is interested in live streaming. It is so simple to use, guys. And I know I get people all the time that, especially over the last couple of years, even Amazon influencers that would reach out to me and they would ask me to help them set up their OBS because they were originally, live streaming, exclusively from their phones. And yes, you can do that on Amazon. You can do that on YouTube. You can do that on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those, right? But you're not going to have that dynamic impact where you can switch, camera angles and all of the other kind of cool things and have overlays and all of that nice stuff. So you will need something like either one of these devices back here, the YOLO boxes, or the Ozbot Talent, which is my favorite right now. For mobile streaming, or even for in studio streaming. Now, with that said, I honestly believe the average person with a computer, a webcam, and when I say a webcam, you don't need a bunch of cameras like I have. You could literally have just one simple camera as your face camera, or maybe you have two cameras. These cameras are not very expensive. If you guys want to know more about these cameras, of course, I talk about these on my Amazon live stream all the time, and there's probably a ton of videos on my channel here on YouTube talking about these different devices. So definitely check these out. Now, you can take this way to the next level if you choose to, do something like what you guys see me doing here with multiple camera angles or whatever the case it is. But I see a lot of content creators, really top level YouTubers, top level Amazon influencers and what have you. And they're only using two cameras. Most of them are going to use a face camera like what you guys see right here, and a top down camera where they can easily, just quickly, switch to the top down when they're talking about something, whatever it is. And to be able to quickly make those transitions. Now, I am using a Stream Deck here in the studio in order to make all of these things flow easily. But, I wanted you guys to see, for the most part, how I have all of this stuff set up. So I even have now my drone controller, as you guys see here. I have my drone controller connected to my hub. And Richard, I know, we talked about this a couple of times, the hub being the issue with OBS. And no, bro, it was just OBS. Let me see what Richard is saying over here. My bloopers will come out a lot clearer. Yeah, if you guys don't know who Richard is our moderator. So Richard not only moderates for my live stream, he does it for quite a few other people. But he seems to always find bloopers in my streams. So if you guys are interested in seeing those bloopers, you gotta be following Richard over on TikTok. Unfortunately, I can't just drop his link here, but if you want to get his link, I will be live tomorrow night over on Amazon. Richard is usually in the stream, and he drops his link throughout the night, and that way you'll be able to follow him on TikTok and check out some of these crazy bloopers. Now, like I said, a lot of them are of me and the crazy stuff that I do, and the crazy things that happen sometime during my stream, because sometimes there is smoke in the city. That's all I can say. You know. All right, let's keep rolling. All right, so I connected the drone controller to my hub. All right, and all of these things, guys, are so easy to set up. Right now you're looking at the Meld setup, and down here I have my drone scenes. I have two scenes for the drone, so when I click on them, you won't be able to see this screen right here, but I'll show you what it actually looks like. So if I go to drone 1, and that's going to be this scene right here, and what this allows me to do is to use the simulator, show you guys what it's like to fly one of the DJI drones, whatever the case it is. I'm just going to do a quick little flight here just so you guys can get the idea, and maybe inspire you also to want to do some cool things on your own streams. So I have this controller right here at hand. Now I can come over and just place my, let's see, where do I want to put the drone? Let's just put the drone right about here. Let's go ahead and place it. And then I'm just going to take off from here. And we're just going to go up And we're just going to fly out a little bit just to give you guys an idea of what we can do. So I'm going to fly around the city a little bit, you know, just kind of go through the city and see what we can see. Now, this city seems to be somewhat abandoned, which is crazy to me, but I'll show you guys what I mean by that. You know, they have all of these old, this kind of reminds me of what downtown Houston used to look like a long time ago, before they, you know, some people started investing more into it. And yeah, it was interesting. So let's go up and take a look at this building. You see that there's some air conditioning units on the building. You don't see that too often anymore. But, you know, if you go into some cities, you might see that. I'm gonna get pretty close to ground level and try to, you know, just, you know, fly along here to show you what the this city looks like. So here we go. So I like to be able to, you know, do these type of flights, you know, during my stream, so that, you know, people who are interested in flying drones can see how one of these simulators could be really handy for learning how to fly, practicing, you know, whatever the case it is. Now, I am a professional photographer. A lot of people who know me know, you know, that I fly these drones for some of my clients, and it just is what it is, you know. This has become one of the new things that almost every client wants, even weddings. You know, you'll find a lot of, you know, drone footage, even in weddings and conferences and things like that, you know, for establishing shots and stuff like that. So yeah, being able to fly a drone is a big win. And like I said, being able to easily set up something like this in your live stream, you know, to whether it's gameplay or live streaming or whatever the case is going to be, you know, I think it's wonderful that we have this technology, and this technology is available to everyone, guys. This is not like it used to be, you know, 10, 15, 20 years ago, where you had to have this major studio and a major investment, you know, to make these things happen. Today, we can do so many of these things right at home. My studio, believe it or not, the whole area that you guys see me sitting in right here, this is where my dining room would normally be, you know, in a normal house. So I just have 4 desks pretty much around me, where I have a lot of gear all over the place. But anyway, we're still talking about Meld Studio. So Meld Studio is going to give you, actually, let me turn this controller off. Meld Studio is going to give you guys a lot of flexibility when it comes to setting up your live streams, being able to multi-stream to multiple platforms. And at this moment in time, it is free, okay? So I can live stream from this platform to YouTube, to Facebook, to Amazon, you know, to, if you have your stream URL and your stream key, to TikTok, and you have permission, you can do all of those. You can stream in landscape as well as in portrait, and you can stream both of those at the same time, which is, it's crazy, because I was literally just a week ago paying for those services with Streamlabs OBS, okay? And, you know, this platform and other platforms are now incorporating that free service, you know, that as a free service in their setup, right? So yeah, I highly recommend Meld Studio. I think it's going to be a very user-friendly application for anybody out there that wants to get started. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I didn't know a lot about this, but I found other YouTubers that were already on the bandwagon. Now, I actually downloaded the app a couple of weeks ago, if not a couple of months ago. And the problem for me in the beginning was that the plugin for Mac for the Stream Deck didn't work. It wouldn't load. It wouldn't install. So I needed my Stream Deck to be able to control my streams, so I wouldn't be just, you know, constantly clicking and, you know, hunting and pecking with the mouse, you know, to make my transitions. And I probably could have done that and got away with it, and I'd have been just fine. But, you know, we have a certain flow. If you've ever seen one of my streams, or you come and watch one of my streams, you'll understand what I'm saying. I'm usually doing a lot of things at the same time. I'm using, you know, 3D printers, I'm using laser engravers, and I'm talking about camera gear, and I'm all over the place at the same time. And I'm trying to interact, you know, with the viewers. And we have some viewers with more personality than others, like we have Richard, and we'll have Terry and Hope and Renee, and I'm just naming a few people off the top of my head, you know, that that will keep us entertained throughout the stream. Alan DeBay, he's a storyteller. He'll come in and he'll drop dad jokes. You know, it's fun times, guys. It's fun times. So if you're into that stuff, of course, you know, I welcome you all to the community to come over and hang out with us here on YouTube or over on Amazon. There is no pressure ever in my streams to buy anything, to subscribe to anything. That's not how I operate. And honestly, I think my stream is unique to the point that I don't really focus on the sales aspect of what most platforms would want us to do. Yeah, if I grab a product, okay, and I'm talking about that product, I'm going to tell you guys what I need to tell you about the product as far as the brands want us to say about these products. And when I say what the brand wants us to say, it's just a description of the product. What is it? What does it do? What features does it have? And if I'm on Amazon and I can see in my carousel what the price of the item is at that time, I will say, you know, this item, blah, 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 is, you know, X number of dollars or whatever. But you can see that yourself. You know, I'm crazy in my streams. I fly drones in my stream. You know, I've had a couple of these hover air, you know, drones. I'll fly these in my stream. So if you guys are interested in seeing stuff like that. So I'm going to leave this video up, and I'm going to be doing some additional videos going forward, you know, on Meld Studio, like how-to videos. But I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel. If there's already somebody out there that has already done the video, I'm not that guy. I'm not going to try and go behind them and just do another video just because I think I could do it better or I just want the views. That's not who I am. So realistically, I can honestly tell you, if you are interested in live streaming, if you're interested in content creation or whatever the case it may be, this is a very, very powerful tool for anybody out there who would be interested in live streaming or any type of content creation. So definitely take a look at it, guys. You can download it for free. It is available for a Mac or PC. I didn't check to see if it is available for Linux. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I didn't check. But you can just go over to their website. I'll probably drop a link down below. But it is spelled, in case you guys didn't know, MELD Studio. So if you want to go over and check it out, please do. They do have a form where you can interact with the developers, which is really cool. I see a lot of people. I was seeing the settings for custom RTMP. Yes, it does have custom RTMP, Richard. So you can, you know, RTMP into whatever platforms, LinkedIn, whatever platforms you want to send your live stream to, which is really, really useful. And for those who may not know what a custom RTMP is, that's basically your stream URL and your personal stream key, which allows you to stream on that platform, you know, so that people can see whatever it is that you're putting out there. But getting those stream keys is not very difficult. Anyone can find it, or you can just Google for the platform that you're trying to live stream to, how to get your stream key, how to get the streaming URL, and then boom, you just enter it, and it's pretty much, you know, good to go from there. And I can show you guys here real quick. I can show you guys here real quick what that looks like. So if you go to preferences, actually, you don't even have to go to preferences. You could just actually, you know what? Let's do it the easy way. So right here where my mouse is 3 of my output sources. So we have Amazon, we have YouTube, and we have Facebook. I'm only streaming right now onto YouTube. But if I wanted to add an additional source, I could just click here. Now, it's probably not going to let me do it because of the fact that I am live, but you can just click on this little plus sign here, and then the dialog will pop up, and it'll allow you to enter your name of the platform, as well as your stream URL and your stream key. There is no confirmation button. You know, once it's there, you can just hit the little check off, and then you can go in and you can toggle on and off whichever platforms you want to stream. Just like I just wanted to stream on YouTube today, and that's where we're streaming right now, is solely here on YouTube. So actually, let me check on YouTube, see where our I've been streaming for about 12 minutes, I guess. So that's not super long, but you know, it is what it is. So if you guys have any questions about this application, this software, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on, YouTube here, in the comments, or whatever the case it may be. Now, I have a lot of platforms that I'm on. So guys, sometimes it takes me a few days, to really notice the comments and, get back and forth, because I'm constantly creating content for some of the brands that I work with. So, I mean, Prime Day is coming up. So I got a ton of stuff all over the place for, products that I need to start to review. If you guys are interested in cameras, we have all of the newest, webcams, like this camera here, which is the Osbot Tail 2. As I said before, I have been looking at hardware solutions for a very long time, especially for those who want to be able to get out and live stream, in the wild, or you're setting up a home studio or whatever the case is going to be. So, yeah, it's just a matter of finding what's going to work best for your setup. But for a lot of people getting started, I really think they're going to benefit from just the simplicity of this software, setting up a simple webcam, or using your phone if you can, especially if you're on a Mac. And even if you're on a PC, there is a way to bring your phone in as a webcam. And even if it's an Android phone, you can still do it. There are softwares that you can install that'll allow you to use your phone as a webcam as well. So, but yeah, that's about it for this morning. We are 30 minutes, almost 30 minutes into this stream. I might go live later tonight. I'm gonna pick Richard's brain here in a little bit and see if it's worth it for me to go live tonight and talk about specific products that might be interesting to you guys. And of course, that also gives you the opportunity to pick my brain like now. After seeing this video, you guys might still have some questions, and hopefully I'll be able to answer those questions. Now, also going forward, we're going to be doing game night here on YouTube, and possibly, multi-streamed over to Facebook. We do Luna games here. We play simple games, guys. It does not take any skill level whatsoever. A lot of the games are just, true or false, or yes or no, or your best guess. And yeah, and I am going to try to add some value to the gameplay with some gifting, because like you guys know, I get a lot of tech weekly that I will probably never use personally. And I would love to be able to put that in the hands of some of you guys, especially those of you that are just getting started, that maybe need a webcam or a light, or, any of the little gadgets you guys see me talking about. Richard said, I should be around later today or tomorrow. Is that right? What is that a promise or a threat? I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend, Richard. I'm asking for a friend. But anyway, all right, my babies. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Let me make sure I turned my controller off. Yes, it is. All right. So also, let me show you real quick what happens when the controller is turned off and I switch over to the drone screen. We'll just get this test pattern. And that's what you want to see. Trust me, that's what you want to see. If you guys are curious how I'm connecting this, the cables I'm using, I have some U-green cables. Actually, I can show you. What am I saying? I'm forgetting. All right, so let me swing this camera around here. All right, so you guys can see this little anchor hub back here. And these are the Ugreen cables that I'm using. I'm touching these things so delicately because I'm so used to OBS crashing from any little thing. And it's just so rewarding that I can touch things and move things, and I'm not worried about Meld crashing, which is crazy. It is crazy. You know, for a company that has only been out a couple of years, you know, building out this software, you know, versus somebody who has been out there for, you know, many years, and their system is just so unstable. I mean, there's more videos on with Streamlabs as to all the problems with Streamlabs versus, you know, the benefits of using Streamlabs, or, you know, how to, you know, videos. So, but anyway, this is my audio setup. I'm using the Rodecaster Pro 2. I have a Stream Deck here. Rode Procaster is my microphone. But even if you don't have a lot of this tech, guys, you can still do it with nothing more than wireless microphones, which work out really well. Here's a set that I talk about all the time. These are the Anchorwork M650 wireless microphones. You know, you get 2 of these microphones. They're omnidirectional, so you'll be able to connect the receiver, excuse me, the receiver to your camera or to your computer, and you can have 2 guests on here, and these do have internal recording, so you can also back up your audio recording. You have a lot of flexibility, guys. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up for this little stream. Richard, let me know, what do you think about the new layout for the stream? You can tell me more, you know, when we go on, we're chatting later on Instagram, you know, here and probably right after this stream, right after this stream. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But I will be around. I have an office chair over there I need to do a video on, and I need to set up. I'm gonna try my best to do that today. But this right here, this is my favorite chair, y'all. This is my favorite chair. I don't think it, man, it would take a lot. It would take a lot for me to find a chair that's better than this chair right here. So this is the benchmark right here. You gotta surpass the quality of this chair to be in the running. That's all I can say. Okay. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. And this video will be live for, you know, here on YouTube for you guys to check out and share. Please feel free to do so. And yeah, Richard says he loves the new setup. So I'm going to go through those real quick for you guys. So we have the chat. We have our new top-down view here. We have our iPhone view. We actually have 2 of those where we can kind of switch between. We have our desktop view, which is going to be whenever I'm, you know, laser engraving something, or I want to show you guys the screen, and also maybe something that's going on here. And I can also switch my main camera even within this scene. So if I want to show you guys, say for instance, over here where one of the lasers are, or switch over in the opposite direction, you know, just where some of the tech and stuff is over here, I'll be able to do that. And then switch, you know, obviously back to myself. So we got a lot of cool new features. Now, again, Meld just makes it possible. Of course, a lot of the gear, the cameras, the video switchers, switching and all that stuff, I already had that, but it made it so easy for me to make the transition. And that's what I was, you know, dreading the most, is like, oh my goodness, I have to set up a whole new stream. I have to, you know, route my audio. I have to do all of these things. No, it was so easy, guys. I literally just went in and chose my Rodecaster. I went in and added the music as a browser source. And yes, it does have VOD, you know, for, you know, if you guys are streaming in gaming and you don't want the music to, you know, to record, you can, you know, disable that as well. Richard says he thinks I made the right choice. So, you know, a compliment from Richard is a very, very important thing. You guys have no idea. Richard is a Leo like me. He is extremely judgmental. So whenever Richard tells you you've done something good, you know you've done something good. That's you know you've done something good when Richard says you've done something good. So anyway, thank you, bro. You know I love you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for now. And like I said, I'm going to chat with Richard here in a little bit and see if maybe we should do a live stream tonight because I'm very excited, guys. I'm very excited of the potential of all of the stuff that we can now do on a regular basis. Where before it just seemed like such work. Now this just feels like fun, just like playtime. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I mean. All right. So find something that you love to do, and it will never ever truly be work. It's just your passion thing to do. All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to go ahead and roll on up out of here, but I'll see you guys maybe later tonight, but definitely tomorrow. All right. Love y'all. Peace. I'm out.